Oh, I love how silent this is. Great. Good morning, everyone. We're so thrilled to welcome you. We're having some minor, slight technical excitement speed bumps, given that it's the first day of the conference. So we're very glad to be able to help out with their system, right? Good morning. I am so happy to welcome all of these incredible faces to this room. My name is Esther Freeman, and I'm currently the chair of GLODERM. It's been my absolute pleasure over these last 5 years to be the founding chair of this organization and to incredibly just watch it grow. We started as a small organization of just 10 of us, and we have now grown to over 1,000 members from 54 different countries. I want to just thank all of you for being here. You have traveled from incredibly far, from so many different backgrounds and so many different countries. And a particular thank you to our wonderful mentee changemakers. We have 17 of them, 16 of them are here today, and I'm going to get a chance to introduce them shortly. And a huge thank you also to CeraVe for their support and the L'Oreal family for supporting our mentorship program and our webinar series. So with that, I'd love to take you through a little bit of our 5-year journey. And I titled this our 5-year journey and dreaming big together. So this morning, and I know we're starting a little late with our AV glitches, but what we are going to be doing is going through our progress overview of where we are as an organization. And then I'm really delighted to introduce our first class of 7 mentees who have now been working with us for a full year on their projects, who are all increasing access to care worldwide. So they will each be giving a 5-minute presentation, and then we have a word from our sponsors, from CeraVe, and then we will be talking about leprosy as well as scabies, have a quick coffee break, and then we'll be going into our strategic planning initiatives over the next few years. A small reminder, as I know we have a lot of social media gurus in the room, we are at GLODERM Alliance, both on Twitter and on Instagram, and also at Facebook. The hashtag for the conference is WCD2023 Singapore, and I'm personally at Dr. Esther Freeman. I promise I'll retweet you whenever I get back to my phone. So please do feel free to tag me as well. This is our 5-year birthday, and which is so exciting. Thank you. As I said, we started as just 10 of us in a room having a dream about an organization that we wished existed when we were either trainees or junior faculty or out in practice. And that group of 10 has just grown exponentially over the past 5 years. And as I said, I'm going to cry today at some point. I'm just like warning you all now, okay? Tears are going to be shed. And I'm wearing mascara, so we don't even know where this is going to go. But we've really grown to be a group of over 1,000 from 54 different countries, and we're only going from strength to strength. And really, it's about the community that you have all created. So with 3 main pillars of GLODERM: mentorship, education, and community building. I want to focus on our first pillar, which brought many of us together in this room today, and just to talk a little bit about how our mentorship program has been established and grown. So there are 3 main components to our mentorship strategy. The first is a one-to-one relationship of mentee-mentor pairs. And actually, if you are a mentee or mentor in our program, can you stand up and just wave for a second? Both our class 1s and class 2s. All right, so these guys are across the whole world. Awesome. In addition, our incoming class will also have an in-person experience with their mentor, and we also do a 1-year leadership curriculum. Now, this is our 2022. This is our first class of our first 7 mentees and their mentor pairs across the globe. Our first-year mentees, actually, I'm going to make you guys stand up again. All right, our first-year mentees, if you guys can wave. These guys are the guys that have finished their first year. There's 7 of them. There they are. Fantastic. And what I love to see is that our web is growing. You can see this is including class 1 and class 2. And so this is our new additional 10. And you can see just how, the bonds and connections across the globe is just increasing each year. So our next 2023, our class 2s that are just starting, and they are here today, hail from Kenya, Indonesia, Tanzania, Zanzibar, Madagascar, Rwanda, Vietnam, St. Lucia, and India. We also have many mentors in the room. So if you're a mentor from either class, can you just wave These guys are giving freely of their time and spent an incredible amount of time with their mentees over the past year. I think that we all know that training one individual can just have a huge ripple effect, right? Because you're not just training one person, you're training all the people that they are touching. And so even just with our class ones, when you add up all of the patients that these individuals touch, it's 50,000 patients just last year. So you get a sense of how much just training a handful of people can make a huge impact. And individually, these individuals have contributed to teaching and mentoring more than 800 additional students and trainees. And that's just class one, right? So we are really on a big upward trajectory of so many people touched. We also have expanded education, and this is run through our GLODERM trainee committee. And Sidra, they're back, and I'm going to pick on you. Sidra, stand up and wave. See, stand up, wave. There she is. So Sidra, Sidra is the founder of our GLODERM trainee committee, and they started a webinar series, which are interactive cases paired with an expert around the world. Think about this as really high-quality grand rounds, but free and open. So you can be sitting in Madagascar and you can tune in. You could be sitting in the Sudan. You could be sitting in Vietnam, and you can tune in for free and listen to really world-class speakers. What I love about this is it also trains the next generation, because you have a world-class speaker paired with one of their trainees. They do the presentation together, and the whole thing is run by trainees. So it's very meta. So even as we're doing these webinar series, the people that are running the webinar series are themselves trainees. So then they get the chance of saying, you know what, I've already run an international symposium. No problem. You want me to run an international conference? I got this. I've already done it, right? I've done hybrid. I've done virtual. So we give them that experience. So these webinars have reached over 600 live participants and 2,500 views around the globe, and actually 56 different countries have tuned in, and so you can actually see the countries in the background that have tuned in for these. We also have a YouTube channel, which I think is a little underappreciated, because this is a great repository of all our past webinars. So sometimes people will say, I would love to get a speaker to come to my residency clinic, for example, in Malaysia. And I can say, guess what? We actually have a whole backlog of lectures that you can listen to. And a huge thank you to our CERAVI team, who is scattered. I see some over there, some over here. We'll be hearing from them later for their support of both of these programs. In terms of building community, I had this mirror up here just to remind myself to tell you to just look around the room. This is the community. Sometimes it can be really hard when you're doing your work. You feel maybe you're the only dermatologist in your area. Maybe you're the only dermatologist in your country. Maybe you're the only dermatologist for a whole swath of locations or geographies or people, and it can be very isolating. Knowing that you have this family of people that think like you, that are dedicated to access to care, and that you have support, I think is so important for all of us. So look around. This is our community. And in terms of future directions, we're very excited to say, GLODERM has matured over 5 years. It's been both Claire Fuller, who is not here today because she's in a board meeting, and my absolute pleasure to lead this organization over the last few years. It is time for a change, because every organization needs to have legs and grow. And so Claire and I are stepping down, and we have wonderful new leaders that I will introduce you to, some of whom are here. And I will be joining the International Foundation for Dermatology as vice chair. And very lucky for me, I am not going far, because GLODERM is actually a program of the International Foundation for Dermatology. So I am still going to be around. And I just want to say this is where I'm probably going to cry. It's just been an incredible, incredible 5 years. Thank you. See, I told you I was totally going to cry. So with that, I wanted to introduce our wonderful incoming officers. And Wendy, if you want to stand up as our representative right here. So Wenda Magagan is coming in as vice chair, and Carrie Winott will be joining us as chair of GLODERM, starting right after this meeting. And Wingfield, if you want to stand up and wave. Thank you, Wingfield. So Wingfield will be our longest running officer, because she's already served for 5 years with us. And then we begged her to stay on for an additional year to ease our transition. So she will be staying on for an additional year before we place her. Thank you, Wingfield, for the extra year. We really appreciate it. So I just wanted to say the future is so bright with all of you. And I was laughing because Margot, there's Margot over there. Margot Whitfield just came up to me. She's one of our original thinkers of GLODERM. And I remember Margot very clearly right after the AAD, our very first scientific meeting, and it got canceled because of COVID like a week before. And I remember her being like, you need to put this on Zoom. I was like, I don't even know what Zoom is. And and the next thing we did, we went virtual. And Margot just came up to me just now. And she goes, Esther, what happened to this organization? Who are all these people? So I just think it's like incredible to see our growth over such a few years. And with that, a thank you to my partner in crime, which is Claire Fuller, to our whole steering committee who has served us so well, to my research fellows, Alexis, if you want to wave, and Janet, who have helped put this whole organization, this whole meeting together, to the International League of Derm Society's staff, and to CeraVe for their support. So thank you so much.